Welcome. Welcome to Wasteland, or welcome back to Wasteland. I think some of you may have seen this place before. It's a quadrant city. That is, it's made out of 4 big chunks that come together as a city sort of thing. Yeah, the pathways? I wanted to see if pathways would be a good idea in this big residential area. Incidentally, there are more people using the sidewalks when I use pathways than without. So pathways, because they're quicker than sidewalks, they encourage walking. The other thing I want you to take a look at while this thing clips on for about 12 minutes is up there, up in the right hand, top right. The reason I want you to take a look at that is because before and after, this is before, right? And that's after. But keep track of the frames per second, that little monitor up there. And notice that after always runs faster than before. Now, it doesn't matter whose map I'm messing with. I can't help but try to improve the traffic. And when it came to this city, that's all I was really doing. They asked me to take a look at some bus stops or metro stops that were overloaded. They had a couple with maybe 1,000 people waiting at each. So I fixed them with one of those shuttle buses, or actually in this case, it was a shuttle bus and a shuttle train. This is quadrant number 2. Now, one of the things I want to show you is how through little change you can make like a massive difference. Like watch this highway. Cloverleaf, you got an exit and an entrance and a beautifully formed single lane backup that goes right through the cloverleaf and all the way back down. And all because lane selection. That 3-lane highway is cutting off 2 lanes off of that 3-lane highway, and as it goes into town, they start playing on each other again, choking everything down to 1 lane. All I did here was change the lanes, right, and move that so that's a definite exit and that's a definite entrance. Pretty much the same design. See? Tiny things like that, right? So I only did ever so slight adjustments, and it improved the traffic greatly. Oh yeah, I also added pathways. This one I was desperately trying to get down to the other side, down to the monorail. I finally found a path. I did find a path. Not a very elegant path by any stretch, but it is a path. This, it was more of like an act of desperation to show how you could get pedestrians to walk through the parkway. And the crosswalk. Don't forget the crosswalk. In between major intersections, a lit crosswalk just for pedestrians. Oh, man, you place them right and you'll be surprised how much your traffic will improve. Because they're not going to the intersection where all the cars are turning left and right. And getting stuck by the cross traffic of pedestrians. Look at that one. Look at that lineup. 6 lanes. In a future video, I think I'm going to show you something about 6 lanes. Check this out. See the subway station? What I was saying about putting crosswalks through, lit crosswalks, just for the pedestrians? Well, they're not on that busy 6 lane anymore, are they? Just kind of sneaking in between the buildings. Again, Just little things I did messing around with the city. This was after. This was before. You see 12, 13 frames per second? You know why that is? In this case, it's because all these vehicles, they're all carrying timers. They're all carrying different timers. Along with all these pedestrians. It's just too much to handle. Right? So if you got faster flowing traffic, unimpeded traffic, then everybody gets to their destination on time, which ends up being better on your computer, and it helps the game to run faster. Did you notice how little I changed stuff here? Right, the depot for the tram is still there. All the schools are there. I've added the bouncy castle. Can you see where the park is attached to a road? I kind of snuck it in around the university there. Look at how slow this is going. 8 frames per second. Choke, 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 choke. And then even though there's more agents on the screen here, 14, right? See the road? Tried to bury it in trees. See the bouncy castle? The road for it? Underneath? See the road? Cherry trees? To make that asset look bigger than it is? Oh, we're coming up to my favorite place. So here, what I did is, what did I do here? I changed the way the highway communicates with that quadrant of town. And I put a park so that people didn't have to drive from here to there. They could just walk across. Did you see how many people wanted to do it? They took all the metro or all the transit to these 2 streets, and then they walked across. Oh, the double cloverleaf and the industry. I really like this industry. I still come back and try to mess with it. Well, I need to. I got it running pretty good, but there's a few issues. This was, if there was anything that I repaired in this city, the roadway here was it. Right? I made a very distinct output for the industry and a very distinct input. Where you can see there's an output and input here, very close together coming off of one highway. I moved all the inputs to over there, all 13 lanes, and the output here. And they can go to, the other three highways? There's a highway south, north, and east. Or sorry, west from this vantage point. I still need to get rid of that cloverleaf. I think it's a little too much. This is what I would consider a level 2 build. Get something working, if just barely. Right? So, I mean, I would do something like this in the beginning and then look back going, okay, yeah. And this was just, it evolved into this, sort of. And then I prettied it up a little bit. It still has a little issue right out there. That traffic coming in on the right side. These vehicles along the right lane, they're not spaced apart enough, or they're not, how would you say, weaving into each other properly coming down this road. Here it wasn't too much of a problem because they would have to come to that intersection and do a sharp turn so that to slow down. Here I'm trying to get them to keep a certain speed, right? Help the volume move faster. Right? Here they're sharp turns. They slow everybody down, is what a roundabout will do. And here, I take 3 lanes of traffic and split them into, see, there's a 6 here, there's a 6 there, there's the 1 here. Well, that's 13 lanes right there. Trying to create some parkland. Yeah, this is where I spent most of my time, and I need to spend more. I did this all vanilla. It was presented to me in vanilla form, so everything I did was in vanilla form. Even that highway, or that input into the industrial areas. Separating the traffic so dramatically seemed to be the only thing that made sense. That way traffic comes in, filters through all this industry, does whatever it needs to do, and whether they're going, they're going back to their town or delivering into commercial, they exit out here. Plus for me, it's a lot of fun to see that much traffic collected in one area, traveling around. But did you notice the difference between the frame rates between before and after? When all the highways and roads were clogged, it was like you're getting no frames per second. Good traffic also helps your city run smoother. And I think that's what's going on, because as long as I've been making videos, I've had comments that my cities run smooth. Well, the first thing I always take care of is traffic, and I don't use mods to do it. I think that's all I wanted to show. Have fun. Take care. Go back to your cities and do stuff. Look at something and go, oh geez, what the heck was I thinking? And then change it and fix it. You'll be surprised. If you've learned something playing this game all this time, you'll be surprised.